Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true. I'll go first. When I was 8 years
So back when I was in college, my friends and I rented like this townhouse apartment thing, and while we were living there, it became very apparent that there was a ghost that lived in the basement. The basement was like a fully finished basement, so we had set up our desks down there to like, that was going to be where we did like all of our homework and stuff like that. While I was down there, like, I ended up never doing my work down there. I would either do it in the living room or up in my room, up in my bedroom, or like in the kitchen area, just because like I was never comfortable being down there, because I could always tell that we nicknamed the ghost Harold. For some reason, we always felt it was a male ghost. So we nicknamed him Harold because we never knew his name or anything like that. I could always feel him down there, like just around, and it just made me feel very uncomfortable. I would just tense up, and I could feel him, your energy, you could feel it. He would just linger around down there. He wasn't malevolent or anything, like he was just there. Like even when he went down to the laundry room, which was right off where the place where we would do our, like where our desk was, like you would be in there, and then you would know Harold would wander in there too, and you would just know that, oh, Harold's in there doing your laundry with you, and it would always make me like very anxious and stuff like that, just because you knew you weren't alone, but you were also alone. So I always hated doing my laundry and stuff, like when I was by myself or when it was at night or like whatever. But like I said, he never came upstairs or anything, and I don't know why. He just never did. But the basement door was right off the kitchen. So there was one night in particular, because Harold wasn't malevolent. He was actually kind of playful, and like sometimes he would actually like mess with the basement door. Like he would just kind of like open and shut it, or like jiggle the handle. Like he just kind of like did things like that. But there was one night I was there by myself. My friends had like night classes that night and I didn't. So I was doing my work or whatever at the kitchen table. And Harold was in one of his playful moods, but he was like really playful that night, and he was opening and shutting the door, like just kind of being annoying. So I said to Harold, like, could you please stop? Like, I'm trying to work. Well, he took that as like a challenge, and he was like opening and shutting the door and opening and shutting the door, like really being annoying about it, to the point where I got up and I went and I pushed the door shut, and then he opened it up again, and like pushed it shut, and he opened it up again, to the point where then I'm like actually holding the door back. And it was if like somebody on the other side was pushing the door open, like there was a human there, but there wasn't, because there was nobody there. It was just Harold. And by the way, there's no like window or like air vents or anything. So there's like nothing you could say like, oh, there was like wind or something like that. There was nothing there that could be opening this door other than like another person or some kind of spiritual presence or something like that. So I'm there pushing this door, and there is literally something there on the other side pushing it back at me. Like I cannot physically close this door, to the point where I take one of the kitchen chairs and I push it to try to close the door and stop it from opening. And he's still there trying to jiggle the handle. And finally I said, Harold, I said, stop it. Would you please? You're scaring me. And like I yelled at him, and that's when he finally stopped. But that was really freaky, and that's the only time he ever actually scared me, because he normally didn't do things like that. I don't know if he just thought it was like a game at first when I said, like, stop it, Harold, like I'm trying to work. Like, I don't know what was up with him that night. But after that, he was pretty quiet for a while, and to the point where like me and my friend actually commented on it. We're like, wow, we haven't heard from Harold in a while. And don't you know, the next day, he literally slammed that door so loud that it shook the entire apartment. But yeah, that was one of my unbelievable ghost stories that are entirely true.